Hi my darlings, I'm Sophie Darling and welcome back to the channel. If you love anime, heartfelt reactions, and deep dives into symbolism and themes, then you are in the right place. Before we jump into today's reaction, please don't forget to hit that like button to show some love, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a moment of fun. And if you want even more exclusive content like early access to my reactions, full-length anime watch-alongs, and an amazing community of fellow anime lovers, please do check out my Patreon. You can find the link in the description box below. Your support truly means the world as it helps to keep these reactions coming, and I'd love to have you join our cozy little anime family. Today, we are reacting to episode 14 of series 3 of Attack on Titan, and holy moly, the end of episode 13 is a wild one. We saw that REINER was hiding in the walls, the Beast Titan has emerged, she's got like a little army, there's one wearing a backpack for some reason. I'm wondering if what's in the backpack is like serums that he's been using to transform other people into pure titans so that he can weaponize them to create a makeshift army to basically build numbers, unless they were titans that were already here that he has taken control of and then moved them out of the area to bring them back for an ambush at a later time. And I'm still on the hill that Armin is going to be trusted with this Titan serum, that Armin is going to be transformed. Possibly they're backed into a corner and they have no choice. Maybe Armin gets injured to the point that, oh, hold up a second. Maybe that's it. Maybe Armin is literally in a life or death situation and Levi has to make that call and chooses to inject him, because if he doesn't, Armin will die. Because I don't know if Armin would do it willingly. I don't know if Armin would ever want that responsibility, but if he's on the brink of death, it may be something that is thrust onto him without much of a choice, because Armin just doesn't strike me as someone that wants the responsibility of what it means to be a shifter, because he sees what Eren has to undergo. He sees the pressure that Eren's under. I don't think Armin would take that on willingly. I think this is going to be something thrust onto him because he's on the brink of death, that maybe Hanji or Levi don't want to lose him because of what he also means to humanity. Levi makes that call because he recognizes that Armin's too important to lose in that moment. Maybe it's not even Levi that makes that decision. Maybe it's somebody takes the serum from him and uses it on Armin. And maybe that's why Levi's so angry in that post-credit scene in episode 12. Maybe he wanted that serum for somebody else and it gets used on Armin and that's why he's angry. Maybe Eren has taken the serum to save Armin, but as a result that serum is gone and that serum could have been used to save Erwin, and Levi is furious because he loses Erwin as a result, and we know he has a lot of love and admiration for Erwin. He admires him. I could see him being furious about that if someone makes that decision to save Armin and doesn't give him the option to choose who to give the serum to. But without further ado, I'm not going to have a long intro because I do want to get into episode 14. We're going to watch episode 14 and I'm terrified and nervous. I'm so scared, guys. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. Thunder Spears. So could this be your fellow that was with REINER? And that could be his ability is like thunder or something? Jesus Christ.
Eren, 鎧が登ってくる。総員、鎧の巨人との衝突を回避しろ。奴に近寄るな。了解。ハンジさん、攻撃命令はまだですか。団長は何を。
敵の動きを見ているんだ。どうもライナー君たちは手の込んだ催しで歓迎してくれるようじゃないか。
It's an ambush. I had a feeling it was going to be an ambush.
あの四足歩行型、荷物を運ぶクラブ。
Yeah!
先ほど一斉に巨人化したものではないな。だとすれば、あれが敵の石膏か。
Wait, the one that was with REINER?
ライナーらに伝えた。とするなら。
あの巨人、荷物を。一体何が
Serum? So was that the person that was on the walls with Reiner then? The quadruped? I don't like the quadruped. I don't like the way it looks. What the fuck?
2、3メートル級ら多数接近
ウトガルド城の襲撃の時と同じく
Ah.
奴がまず狙うのは馬。そのためにまず我々から撤退の選択肢を奪
And
う。
then they'll eat Eren.
依然巨人の領域であるウォールマリア領から我々が馬なしで帰還する術はない。1週間でも1ヶ月でも
They'll
動
starve
ける
them
者が
out.
いなくなるまでただ待てばいい。敵は交戦のリスクを冒すことなく虫の息となったエレンを奪い去ることができるのだから。何より今危惧すべき課題はライナーとベルトルトになすすべなく馬を殺されることか。
やっと何かを喋る気になったか。
He's
先に朝食
analyzing.
を済ませるべきだった。
He's
デルク
thinking.
藩並びにマレーネ藩は内門のクラース藩と共に馬を死守せよ。リヴァイ藩並びにハンジ藩は鎧の巨人を仕留めよ。各藩は指揮のもと雷装を使用し
The
何
Thunder
としてでも目
Spheres.
的を果たせ。今この時
Is this new weapons that Hanji's
全て
invented?
がかかっている。今一度人類に心臓を捧げよう。
Give your everything.
リヴァイ藩と言ったがお前だけはこっちだ。リヴァイ。
俺にエレンでなく馬を守れと。
そうだ。そして隙を見て奴を討ち取れ。獣の巨人はお前にしか託せない。
Oh, that's gonna be so cool to
了解した。
watch.
さっき鎧のガキ一匹殺せなかった失態はそいつの首で埋め合わせるとしよ
人類の命運を分ける戦局の一つ。その現場指揮はハンジと君に背負ってもらうぞ。
Battled, where are you? Look at his little mustache.
いた。一箇所に固まっている。あの馬を殺してここから離れる。それだけでいい。リヴァイ
wants to
兵長が
run?
どれだけ強かろうと、俺たちの戦士長には到底かなわない。
To the commander.
あの時意識を全身に移すのが一瞬でも遅れていれば、あのまま即死だった。しかし何だって壁の中なんて
What
調べよう
the
と
fuck?
アルミン、お前か。長かった俺たちの旅も。
As he transferred his consciousness to his body to prevent his brainstem from being severed.
エルヴィン・スミス。
Eren.
なぜ自分か
2.
ら姿を現した。俺たちの目的がお前の存在であることは重々承知のはず。
But he can harden his body now. You don't know that. He's distracting you from your
まさか
mission.
南から壁を越えて逃げる気か。
Little hop.
2ヶ月で硬質化を身につけてきたやつを再び壁内に戻すのはまずい。
Oh, well, they know because they watched him do
完
it.
全な座標の力を身につけた
I
後では
forgot
手
about
遅れ
that.
だ。
Yeah, couldn't he
いや、
technically
待て、おかしい。
coerce the other
本当に
Titans
逃げる
into
つもりなら
turning on the Beast
立
Titan?
体軌道で東か西の壁を伝った後に巨人化するべきだ。なぜわざわざ壁に囲まれたシガンシナ区の中で巨人化する。奴らの狙いは俺の目標を馬からエレンに移すことか。
This is so tense.
考える時間もくれねえってわけですか。
No.
たく団長、せっかく登ったってのによ。
He's playing 5D chess and we're playing checkers.
よし、食いついた。
まさか馬を守るためにエレンを踊りに
Yeah,
する
because they
羽目に
need
な
a way
そん
out.
なそれでもライナーが馬を先に殺すことを選んだら
いや、エレンを追うはずだ。
Unless he intends to use the horses as a
エレン
suicide
はそのま
charge.
ま回り込んで獣の巨人の背後を追う。リヴァイらの兵力とエレンで獣の巨人を挟み撃ちにして叩く。エレンに逃げる動きをされたら 敵は混乱して包囲網を崩すしかない。ライナーがそこまで読めるかどうかだけど。
I don't think he's gonna give Reiner a chance to.
もう一つ危惧すべきことが、ベ
Battled?
ルトルトが
Yeah.
まだどこかに潜んでいます。前回エレンはライナーをあと一歩のところまで追い詰めましたが、ベルトルトの強力な奇襲を受け連れ去られるに至ったのです。
Where is Bertold and what's he waiting for is
まぐ
my
れかもしれねえけ
curiosity.
どお前には一度勝ってんだ。ほとんど勝ってた。
Round 2, Electric Boogaloo.
1対1なら俺は勝てる。単純な格闘能力なら兄の方がずっと手強かった。
I mean, she was. She kicked Eren's ass numerous times. Eren's lighter and he's also faster. And in order to be faster, Reiner needs to shed some of the armor. And that leaves him vulnerable. Come on, Eren.
お前にはここがどこだかわかるか。
This is where your mother died. This is revenge.
俺たちの故郷があった場所だ。取り返してやる。お前らをぶっ殺してお前らに奪われた。
This is intense. You've pushed him to his own hometown. There is absolutely no way that Eren's letting you beat him here, of all places. The town that he lost because of you and Bertold. A weapon developed to combat the stout defense of the Armor Titan using technology formerly kept secret by the Interior Police. Though challenging to wield, it can deliver a concentrated blow comparable to a strike of lightning. Ah, so they're going to use that to bring down Reiner. I was wondering what Thunder Spears meant. I thought maybe it was like the person that had traveled with Reiner that we saw at the end of episode 12, and I was like, oh, I wonder if that would be like their Titan ability, because that'd be kind of cool.
ここに馬をつなげばいい。一箇所に馬を止めるなという指令だ。ここじゃない。もっと東から3、4メートル来るぞ。
This is Marlowe's first experience, really, with the Titans directly.
巨人。
Come on, Levi.
小せえのをさっさと片付けろ。獣の巨人が動く前にだ。損害は許さん。一人も死ぬな。
弱えやつはすぐ死ぬ。
He wants a challenge.
そこにいろ。
Oh. I'm watching Attack on Titan. You're distracting me. I'm sorry. I have to pause because Sully. This is Sully. He is my boy, Sully Bertold. This is his full name. It would be sad if you don't subscribe, so please do subscribe during this intermission. But yeah, he's a little distraction from filming, which is why I don't get a lot of filming done, because I have this little face. He usually sleeps on the chair, but when he doesn't sleep on the chair, he wants to be on the desk, but he can't be on the desk because then he starts hitting the keyboard and it messes with recording. So I just had to lock him out, because otherwise we have intermissions like this where I have to pause filming because the cat is distracting me.
だが、それだけの損害がなければ、決してここまでたどり着けなかった。よく自分と父の考えた仮説を仲間に話していた。調査兵団に入ってそれを証明してみせると。
He's gonna sacrifice
だが
that.
調査兵団になった途端、なぜか誰にもその話をしなくなった。なぜかではない。私は気づいていた。私だけが自分のために戦っているのだと。私だけが自分の夢を見ているのだと。
He's dying
いつしか
this
私は
season.
部下を従えるようになり、仲間を鼓舞した。人類のために心臓を捧げよと。そうやって仲間を騙し、自分を騙し、 築き上げた屍の山の上に
God, that's such a graphic.
私は立っている。
Is that Mike as well?
この作戦が失敗しても死ぬ前に地下室に行け
He
るかも
did all
しれない。
this to reach the basement, but I
グリシャ・
think
イエーガーが残した地下室、世界の真相に。
he did all of that to reach the basement. His dream is what motivated him, and as a result, he has seen numerous people die because of his ambition to know and learn the truth. But I think that realization that he has come to, and the graphic imagery of him standing on top of all those corpses to be where he is today, to be so close to finding the truth, is going to be the reason he makes the decision to sacrifice himself in order for everyone else to find the truth, even though he will never fulfill his dream. I think showing us that imagery is meant to make us think, oh my God, how selfish is he to have sacrificed all those lives just to know what was in the basement, just to know the truth. All those people who died for nothing. But it's not for nothing. It is for the greater good of humanity. It is to know who the enemy is and what awaits them. It is to benefit those within the walls to no longer be ignorant. This is giving us some further insight into Erwin, that potentially his motivations for learning the truth were not just for the sole reason of benefiting humanity, but for his own personal desires, his own personal dream. And that's what he's essentially telling us, is that like he fooled himself as much as he fooled his comrades into believing that everything he did was for humanity. It was him giving his heart for humanity. But I think inevitably his final sacrifice will be living up to what he has taught his soldiers, what he has led his comrades to believe is his ultimate ambition. He will give his heart to humanity. He will put aside his own wants, desires, and ambition to save the Survey Corps. The corpses really stand out to me with Erwin stood on top, because I think it's meant to show the magnitude of the choices that he has made, the people he has been willing to sacrifice for his own desires, his own dreams, his own want to prove his father correct, to know what's in the basement. But I also think it's meant to show the magnitude of guilt that he feels, in that he knows that his actions haven't been solely for the sake of humanity, that his actions have also been influenced by his own personal desires and wants, rather than what he thinks will benefit the people as a whole. So I think it's meant to emphasize guilt, but also show just how far Erwin is willing to go. But in the end, Erwin will make the ultimate sacrifice to save the Survey Corps, because at the very heart of it, Erwin cares deeply for the Survey Corps, he cares deeply for humanity. And I think even with the guilt of all those he's sacrificed to get where he is today will not stop him from prioritizing the Survey Corps and humanity as a whole over his own personal beliefs. And that's what I think it's supposed to emphasize, is that Erwin is going to make the ultimate sacrifice by setting aside his wants and desires for what he believes to be is a greater and nobler cause, which is allowing the Survey Corps to exist and thrive, because without them, the people suffer and humanity suffers, because they are the only ones that have humanity's back. They are the only ones that are willing to fight the Titans for the sake of saving humanity, and Erwin knows that. Erwin's going to sacrifice himself. I calling it now, it's just too symbolic. They're doing too much showing that. I think it is, again, showing the internal conflict that Erwin feels, the guilt that he feels. I think giving that insight into Erwin is Asayama's way of showing that no one is perfect, no one is beyond reproach. Everyone has the ability to be influenced by a greater purpose, a greater want, a greater desire, and that can result in the loss of life. And again, we go back to Armin's words of those who cannot sacrifice anything cannot achieve anything. And Erwin's desire to find the truth has led to him having to sacrifice the lives of those he respected most. And it gives us more insight into him as a person, into a character. We kind of already got that understanding that his pursuit for truth wasn't necessarily only about humanity once it was revealed who his father was and how his father died. But I think this insight into him is going to be altered by his inevitable choice to serve the best interests of the Survey Corps and to give his heart to humanity. That his idea that he fooled himself into thinking that's what he truly was doing is actually not the case, because his ultimate sacrifice will be one that saves humanity as a whole. It will be him giving his heart to humanity in his final moments, and that he was not a fool, that all the sacrifices he made to get here did mean something in the end, even if he feels the burden of that guilt because he knows so many have died for what he believes is his own selfish desires. But inevitably, his choice to cast aside his desire for the truth, to save those he cares about most, and to help the Survey Corps live another day, and to become stronger, and to become the spear of humanity once more, is going to inevitably prove to him that it was for something, it wasn't for nothing. He truly did what he thought was best in that situation. And yes, the guilt is all consuming, and it impresses upon him knowing that he remains alive atop a mountain of corpses, but he inevitably will join them. He inevitably will give himself and give his heart for humanity to protect the greater interests and to cast aside his own desires and wants for the truth.
実験の甲斐があったこの拳なら戦える硬質化は一点に凝縮させるとより強固になる遅えんだよノラマ
Oh, fuck. Oh. Eren, you kind of got a bit cocky. You let your guard down. Oh my god, he's like a rag doll. This is so hard to watch. Because again, I don't think REINER's a bad person. It's all a ploy, isn't it? To get him to open his nape. To expose the back of him.
敵が硬質化の隙でも見せてくれない限り、私たちはただエレンと鎧の戦いを眺めることしかできなかった。あの時、団長が巨人の大軍を引き連れてこなかった。
There was nothing they could have done.
壁の穴を塞ぐのも重要だが、我々は何よりも壁の破壊者であるライナーとベルトルトを殺さなければならないのだから。
I don't know how they feel about doing that though.
鎧の巨人に誘うって言うんですか？
見た方が早い。
Because they still served with them. I think it's hard to come to that realization and conclusion that you might have to kill them. Jesus Christ, Hanji.
雷が落ちたようだろ。だから雷槍って呼んでる。
Like a
これが
missile.
本当に鎧を仕留められるのか、実際に打ち込んでみないとわからない。
Oh, it's so hard to watch them fight like this. It's just really bittersweet, I feel. I don't know. But where the fuck is Bertold, though?
やはり俺一人ではエレンをかじり取るまでには至らないか。もはやこの手を使うしか。だが兵士の刃が何だというんだ。
It's not the blades.
全身をくまなく硬質化で覆った俺には。
Oh, you're in for a rude awakening. Oh fuck. Right in the eyes as well.
通常の刃の斬撃のようにして巨人に安価を打ち込めば飛び込んだ先で巻き添えを食らう。雷装で攻撃できるチャンスはこのような条
They
件
can't
でし
use
か
it
ない。
in an open space, or it's essentially a suicide mission.
決めるしかない。
Bertold
同じの鎧が剥がれかけている
has to come out soon.
本当に
雷装が効いた。
もう一度だ。もう一度雷装を打ち込んでとどめを刺せ。
They're not going to be able to do it. They still see him as a friend and a comrade. John's hardened himself.
はずだろうやるぞ
In war, you don't have a choice, but Bertold's going to have to come out. There's no way.
待って
Is Reiner dead? No. No, 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 no. Oh my god, maybe. I did say that like I could see Reiner or Bertold dying because it would make sense that all the deaths couldn't just be on the survey corps side, but oh my god, I still think I'd get upset though if he died. I don't think I'd be happy because again, I don't see him as a bad person. I don't see him as someone who is willingly doing this. I think he's been coerced. I think he's been forced to fight a war that he doesn't necessarily agree or believe in, or has been coerced into believing something that isn't strictly true, and as a consequence has been forced to risk his own life for something he doesn't fully understand. He's been I don't believe that he's a bad person. I don't believe Bertold's a bad person, and that's why it's so hard to watch him and Eren fight, because I don't see them as the enemy. I just see them as kids that have been manipulated and coerced by a government that possibly functions similar to the government behind the walls, and as a consequence are paying the price for it. We know that the Beast Titan is the war chief, which means that there's others like him in positions of power. I think they've been manipulated for the benefit of their community, for their government to gain an advantage over who they perceive as the enemy, and they don't care about the lives they're ruining, about the childhoods they're destroying, so long as they can win and gain an advantage. And that's why I can't be happy seeing Eren successful against Reiner in the same way that I can't be happy when Reiner's successful against Eren. I've humanized them too much to fully believe that he deserves this, even though his actions in the past have resulted in the death of Eren's mother and the deaths of countless people. I don't think he did it knowingly. I don't think he did it fully understanding what would happen or the consequences of what that would entail. And I think that because he was only around 12 or 13 when the wars were kicked in, I don't think he fully knew or understood what the result would be, because at that age you can't give informed consent. Your brain is not fully developed, not fully formed. You are a child. You lack cognitive thinking skills, and that's why I find it so hard to root for Reiner or to root for Eren. I just feel so incredibly sorry for them because they're just children. They're just children thrust into a game of power and corruption by people higher up who are not the ones at risk. You know, it's like any war in society. You have the elites that are all too happy to go to war because it's them and their families that don't reap the consequences. It's those on the ground that are at the risk of dying, and it's those whose lives are impacted by war, conflict, by the elites' lust for power and their greed and their possible need for vengeance. And as a consequence, you have people like Reiner who don't want to do this, and Bertold and Annie who also don't want to do this, and who are just children who are the ones paying the price. And in a similar position, Eren, Armin, and Mikasa are also children whose lives have been irrevocably changed, who don't want to be in this position either, but have been thrust into it without a choice. It's just so incredibly sad and cruel to watch. And I think if anyone sits and watches this show and roots for one side over the other, you're missing the point. You're missing the bigger picture that war is not something that should be celebrated. It's not something we should be justifying. What we're seeing is the brutality of it. We're seeing the trauma it inflicts upon a generation. We're seeing the loss of innocence. We're seeing the loss of childhood. We're seeing the replication of violence, the cycle of violence. We're seeing the cycle of hatred. We're seeing the immeasurable loss of life that can't be sanctioned or justified or celebrated. This is supposed to show us the atrocities of war. It's supposed to awaken us to the reality of war. It's supposed to make us realize that there are no winners in conflict. There is only losers. And it doesn't matter if theoretically you have won, because if your win comes with the loss of life, it comes with the destruction of cities, of cultures, have you truly won? No, there is no victor here, just the replication of trauma, just the replication of violence, the replication of hatred. And I think, again, anyone that sits here and is like, yeah, Eren, kill Reiner. Oh, Reiner and Bertolt are the enemy, are just missing the bigger picture of this show and are missing the deep undertones that Asayama is presenting, that conflict is not something we should be celebrating. Violence on both sides is not justified. And we should be looking at the inevitable impact that war has on two people from two different cultures, from two different sides of the conflict, and how they're forced into a battle, how they're forced into fighting one another when they were previously friends, when they were previously comrades. And we shouldn't be seeing it in such a black and white perspective. We should be able to humanize Reiner in the same way that we humanize Eren. We are seeing children who are coerced into fighting a war by somebody higher. We're seeing children thrust into fighting one another as if they are the enemy when they don't fully understand either why they're being made to do this. And it's just so incredibly sad. I hope Reiner's not dead, because I'm gonna bawl my eyes out if he is. And this episode just signified to me all the more that Erwin's dying. Erwin's not making it to season 4. If Erwin makes it to season 4, I will be incredibly shocked, because just a little insights into his character and the way that he's saying that just before I die, I'll be able to find out the truth is hinting and foreshadowing too much that Erwin inevitably is not making it out alive. I am like firmly on the hill that Erwin's dying this season in the next couple of episodes, and it's going to break my heart and I'm going to be so angry about it. I just don't see him surviving, and the reason for that being is it's very similar to Hannes. When I said Hannes' arc was coming to an end, because Hannes' inevitable goal was to protect Eren and to save him once more, and he gave his life in the pursuit of that, in the attempt to save him and Mikasa once again, as he did when they were kids. And that was the end of his arc. Erwin's arc has been to find the truth, to discover the truth, and to justify why his father died, to know that his father died for something, and that has led to him sacrificing numerous people to get here. And in the end, I don't think he's going to know the truth. I think he is going to sacrifice himself at the cost of knowing the truth, if it means that the Survey Corps survive and that it gives humanity a chance to fight back. And I think that's his arc, is coming to the realization that he hasn't been fooling himself, that everything he has done has been for humanity, even if he's begun to doubt that it truly was. And he's going to show that in the end, when he gives up his pursuit of the truth and of knowledge to save those he cares about and to save humanity. I don't get myself emotional and worked up because I've convinced myself that that's what's going to happen. Thank you so much for watching. If you've watched to the end, I love and appreciate you so, so much. You are the true MVPs, watching this entire episode right the way through, including my long rambly theories. If you enjoyed this react, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below to help boost this video into the algorithm. And until next episode, bye!